awesome from the defensive standpoint, but he's concerned they might not be physical enough. And when will he know? We'll ask him November 5th when the Cats open against the probable number 1 Michigan State. A University of Tennessee player and the UT coach are in hot water. It all came about after the player was arrested after a routine traffic stop. Player Jeremy Banks was arrested on an outstanding warrant after being stopped a month ago. While in the squad car, video shows him remarking, quote, "Where I'm from, we shoot at cops." When called, his coach, Jeremy Pruitt, told police, quote, "This is the silliest expletive I've ever seen in my life. I've worked at 4 places, and I ain't never had no crap like this, except for here." Kroger Field, the former Commonwealth Stadium, was opened in 1973, and in all those years, there's never been a major stadium concert held there. That will change next April. On Wednesday, it was announced that Kentucky native Chris Stapleton will headline the first stadium show ever at the field. It'll be on April 25th, 2020. Now, it's an all-star lineup. In addition to Stapleton, opening acts include newcomer Yola, Sheryl Crow, and the legendary Willie Nelson. Tickets go on sale Friday, October 11th on Live Nation. Hockey's back. The 2019-20 season gets underway for the Preds tonight. Preds take on the Wild at Bridgestone Arena. And the stage is now set for Major League Baseball's Division Series. Wednesday night, Tampa Bay eliminated Oakland 5-1. Tampa Bay moves on to face Houston. The Twins will take on the Yankees with the AL Series beginning Friday night. The National League Series gets underway this evening. That's it for your Thursday. Join your fellow UK fans on Facebook in Wildcat Lair. I'm Eddie Owen.
One of the unpleasant side of summer are bug bites and ticks. Bugs, including mosquitoes, ticks, and some flies, can spread diseases, including Zika virus, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and Lyme disease. Reduce your risk by taking the following steps to prevent bug bites. Use insect repellent. Use EPA-registered insect repellents that contain at least 20% DEET for protection against mosquitoes, ticks, and other bugs. Other repellents may protect against mosquitoes, but are not effective against ticks and other bugs. When applying insect repellent, remember to spray all exposed skin, but also the clothing and shoes as well. Cover exposed skin. As much as possible, wear long sleeve shirts, long pants, socks, and a hat. Tuck your shirt into your pants and your pants into your socks for maximum protection. Check yourself often. Once you return from outdoors, immediately check for ticks. Pay close attention to areas such as scalps, ears, armpits, groins, as ticks tend to frequent these areas. It's also helpful to shower as soon as you're inside if possible. Stay safe and try to avoid bugs and ticks this summer.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Fredonia Valley Bank. You've been listening to your WPKY News Edge. Find news 24 hours a day at WPKYonline.com. The voice of Caldwell County. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Former Special Envoy to Ukraine, Kurt Volker, meets privately today with congressional aides as part of the Democrats' impeachment inquiry. Volker resigned last week.
The State Department Inspector General gave documents to Congress yesterday that show the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, interviewed fired Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin, who claimed his investigation into an oil company Joe Biden's son was working with was stopped out of fear of the United States. Democrats call the documents propaganda.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. At least 22 soldiers are hurt in a nighttime parachuting exercise at Camp Shelby in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
None of the injuries are life-threatening. According to an Army spokesman, about 84 soldiers were parachuting from an airplane around 8 p.m. Central Time. He says the wind blew around 80 jumpers away from their drop zone and into a group of pine trees.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. America is listening to Fox News.
W277CK Princeton. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Plenty of sunshine today with a high near 90. Tonight, clear, low 55. Now tomorrow for Football Friday, here's the temperatures we've been looking for. Sunny, high 75, and then on Saturday, sunny, high near 86. 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms is going to pop up on Sunday with a high of 75, and then sunshine and milder temps returning Monday, high near 71. Again, for your volleyball Thursday, sunshine and a high near 90.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Treasures Remembered. Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
Hey, don't forget, the American Red Cross invites you to give blood at their community blood drive. That is going on today from noon until 6 p.m. The blood drive will be held at Calvary Baptist Church Family Life Center in the gym. Calvary Baptist Church Family Life Center is at 121 Kentucky Avenue off Highway 62 West in Princeton. Now, donors need to enter the front doors of the Family Life Center, go down the hall, and enter the gym area. Please call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or you can visit redcrossblood.org to enter if you want to, but walk-ins, of course, are always welcome.
Well, the registration books for the general election of November 5th, 2019 will be open through Monday, October 7th. Registration books will not reopen until November 11th. Now, you may register to vote, change your name or address until 4 p.m. this coming Monday. Now, voters are unable to go to the polls on November 5th. They can apply now for a mail-in absentee ballot. Now, if you've got any questions, you can give them a call, 365-6754.
Well, the Qatar Tourism Commission presents Live on the Lawn. That's coming up this Saturday, October 5th, featuring the Marshall Tucker Band, Molly Hatchet, Blacktop Mojo, Lion Eyes, and Tom Peake. And that's at exit 40 on I-24, US 62. All ages are welcome. Festival gates will open at 3, and it's a rain or shine event. Check it out at www.liveonthelawnky.com.
Well, the Caldwell County Tigers 2019 to 2020 wrestling team is raising funds by selling Krispy Kreme donuts. Now, the money is due by the 17th. It's going to be ready for pickup and delivery on October 21st. Regular glazed are $10. Chocolate cream or raspberry filled, Ty, it all sounds good. They're $12. Krispy Kreme signature coffee by the bag is $10. So for more information, give them a call, 625-2527.
Test their pick in live at Bluegrass on the Bashir 6 Music Fest, fun-filled and family-friendly. That is Saturday, October 12th, noon to 7 p.m. Grounds will open at 11. It's rain or shine, too. It's up on beautiful Lake Bashir. Bring your lawn chairs, food, drinks, coolers, T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. Raffles, bake sales, canoe and kayaks are available. It's a bluegrass festival and have lots of great groups. They are picking life. Go to www.bluegrassonbashir.com or Facebook Bluegrass on Bashir. That's located at 307 Island Cove Lane in Dawson Springs.
Well, Donaldson Baptist Church invites you to join them to celebrate fall with their fall festival this Saturday, October 5th at 5 p.m. Food, games, and hay rides, fun and fellowship for the entire family and kids of all ages. That's at Donaldson Baptist Church. Now, if you've got an activity coming up or if you've got something you would like to have put on the community calendar, you can always email Ty and I at WPKYonline@gmail.com.
Hello, this is Jerry Gillum of AgQuest Financial Services. Over the years, AgQuest has provided exceptional financial solutions to our area farmers. Today, this service will be enhanced by our new relationship with Agrichem, your locally owned, full-service ag retail provider. With customer service as a top priority, all your ag service needs can now be met at the same place with the same goal: on-farm success as a result of efficient, productive, financial, and agronomic needs. Please call us today to see what AgQuest and Agrichem can do for you. Together, we find the way.
Brantley Furniture has been a mainstay in Princeton for many years. Jeannie, Megan, and the staff invite you to shop with them for all your home furniture and decor needs. They feature a large selection of living room, dining room, and bedroom furniture and mattresses. Their accent pieces and accessories are just phenomenal. They also carry baby furniture. For personal service and great selection, visit Brantley Furniture in historic downtown Princeton. Like them on Facebook and watch for weekly specials.
It's time for the annual Artisan Festival and Songwriters Showcase, organized by the Princeton Art Guild and hosted by Adams Breezy Hill Farm and Restaurant. This big event is Saturday, October 5th. Artists will set up on site selling their wares from noon until 5. There will be free hay rides with Adams Breezy Hill Farms from noon to 5 as well. Live music in the beautiful outdoor gazebo area from 1 till 5 p.m. This free event is a family-friendly event. Bring some lawn chairs and or blankets. Relax and enjoy a fun day. After taking in the art festival, Festival, free hay rides, and fabulous music. Hang around and enjoy a delicious meal at Adams Breezy Hill Farm Restaurant. The annual Artisan Festival and Songwriter Showcase is Saturday, October 5th from noon to 5 at Adams Breezy Hill Farm. The Artisan Festival is organized by the Princeton Art Guild. The Songwriter Showcase is sponsored by Planters Bank of Princeton, and the event is proudly hosted by your friends at Adams Breezy Hill Farm Restaurant, located at 1222 Cadies Road, Princeton.
You can hear Tiger Sports live right here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and at WPKYonline.com. You can also follow all the Caldwell County sports teams at yoursportsedge.com. There's a whole section for Caldwell County Tiger fans. If you like what you see, download the YSE app. It's free. It's a new day for sports coverage for Tiger fans. YourSportsEdge.com and WPKY support Caldwell County sports.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. From 1035 West Main Street in Princeton, the Sideline Report is on the air. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com, and we've got a full house in the studio today as we're getting ready for Hall of Fame night Friday night out at Tiger Stadium as the Tigers host the Mayfield Cardinals. And first of all, I want to welcome to the show this morning Pat Gates. And Gates, we're hoping to get a Gator and DT show going on here today, but we'll take half of it.
DT's out sealing once again, I believe, and striping over in Hopkinsville, so he was unable to make it today.
Well, we got to get him in here sometime.
I know.
That's Pat Gates. Also in here with us, Chad Lane. Chad, thanks for coming by, and congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that'll be a cool ceremony coming up Friday. And Will Barnes is here. Will, thanks for coming back on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Todd.
Also, Cameron Williams is here, first time on the show. Congratulations to you guys on being in the Hall of Fame, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Also, Ty Englebright sitting in on the show. We don't have a mic for him, so he's just going to yell in the background.
Good morning.
There he is. Need to get to a break, but a lot to talk about. Again, all these guys going into the Hall of Fame. That's Friday night at Tiger Stadium. Tigers hosting Mayfield, and we'll be back to talk all about it after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes money is tight when you need it most.
At ABC Finance, we're here for you.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you in a pinch, even if your credit is less than perfect.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000 and the individual attention to help you get your finances back on track.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call, and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
And like ABC Finance on Facebook.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
Some people just have a knack for being there when you need them the most, like your third grade classmate who sticks up for you against that bullet, the neighbor who gives you the jump start, and the friend who chases away that flock of geese at your outdoor wedding. Your State Farm agent has your back, too, through good times and the not-so-good. And who's got your agent's back? State Farm, the company people have trusted for more than 90 years. We're here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Barkley Hudson at 270-365-7521.
Social Security provides a death benefit of $255, but the average funeral can cost $10,000 or more. Something isn't adding up. A Modern Woodman representative can help make sure you have enough life insurance to fit your needs and budget. Modern Woodman can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement.
I'm Josh Cook, a lifetime resident of Caldwell County. Call me at 270-350-6590 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Back on the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Again, a full studio this morning. Pat Gates sitting in with us. And Pat, first of all, before we talk to the guys about the Hall of Fame, I want to talk to you a little bit about how the Hall of Fame got started and able to keep things running now and keep inducting more deserving players.
Well, basically, Todd, it got started back in the early 90s. And Johnny Jaggers was big, behind it. And, we were going through a transition at the time when, booster clubs, we had one athletic booster club, and we kind of wanted to break off and do something special for football, and so that, that we could also, fundraise and get money. And so we incorporated in, a Hall of Fame, and we had some barbecues and fundraising that way to help support it. And Johnny Jaggers was really big about doing it, and of course DT was behind it all, and had a lot of community support. Brad Harrelson and a lot of the local people here that just love football, kind of took it over, and we started incorporating classes back then, and I think it went kind of dormant there for a little bit. We
about
had
6 or 7 years.
About 6 or 7 years there that we didn't have any, so we're trying to get kind of caught back up, and we got another outstanding class coming in this year, and we got 3 of these guys here in the studio this morning, and we got 3 more that are absent, but I think Bob Hudson's going to be here tomorrow in the morning, maybe on the morning show, and Mark Knipe's going to be coming in too, who was a quarterback in the 90s for us, and of course Gary Goodacre, he'll be here tomorrow night as well. So all 6 of these guys will be here tomorrow night, and I know I talked to Brian, sent me a text yesterday and wanted to really try to promote it before the game. There's going to be a tent set up over by the field house, and we want to encourage all of our fans before the game around between 6:15 and 6:30 to come down and talk to these guys and their families, and everyone's invited to come and attend. There'll be some refreshments and food there, and of course they'll honor them at halftime.
Again, the Hall of Fame class this year is Will Barnes, Cameron Williams, Mark Knipe, Chad Lane, Bob Hudson, and Gary Goodacre. And Gary is going to come in and be on the show next week, so we'll get him in here too. So that'll take care of just about everybody.
I think about all but Mark, and of course Mark couldn't get here early enough. We kind of corresponded yesterday through text, and maybe sometime during the game tomorrow night that you're down on the sideline. Maybe
we'll grab him.
Maybe you can grab him and get a little interview with him. But they're all outstanding young men and represented Caldwell County High School in just a great manner, and we're proud to have them coming into the class.
Again, we've got on the show this morning Chad Lane and Will Barnes and Cameron Williams. And Chad, we'll start with you. What are some of your favorite memories from playing at Caldwell County High School?
I don't know about a favorite memory, but the biggest memory is we were one of the first classes that ran the hill. We started the hill for conditioning, and we had a pretty good path worn out there from the bottom of the culvert, like up, went around the telephone pole and back down. So I think that was a Coach Hughes idea, wasn't it, Coach Gates?
I believe that's right.
He wanted something different, so we didn't struggle in the fourth quarter. So,
any favorite players that you played with, or maybe against?
I still got a lot of memories of. Now, of course, Ken Argo was on here last year, and he made a couple of remarks about me being hard-headed. I'm not real for sure if it was me or him, but me and Kenny went together a lot. I got broke in rather young with. I got the opportunity to play with like Chris Cochran, David Fagan, Waney. I played with Waney for a couple of years.
Brock Thomas, I think Brock was on that
Brock.
line.
The Harris brothers, Jerome and Eric. I played with them. That was real interesting. Eric was probably next to Waney, was probably one of the better just pure athletes that we had on the team. Yeah. And then I still have some life, Troy Nichols. He's a buddy of mine. We still run around and hang out together. Troy and I, last couple of years we played together, we played on the same side of the defensive line. So we did a lot of things together.
Football changed a little bit since when you played?
Yes. I think there was probably a couple of games we played in, we had maybe 6 or 8 passes. 10 maybe, and I think y'all throw probably a couple more than that this time. But we were we run kind of a 3-back set for the most part, and we ran the ball, and that was a big advantage for us as linemen. You know, had good defense. You know, Ben Trimble, we used to call him Gentle Ben, big old guy, and then Jamie Palm, he kind of played some corner and safety for us. They really some hard hitters.
Do you have any games that you think back on that were just outstanding games personally, or maybe a game or two that didn't turn out in our favor that maybe you'd like to have another crack at somewhere along the way or anything?
I think it was probably, you'll probably remember better than me, it was probably I believe it was my junior year. We played Mayfield, and not much time left on the clock. We were undefeated. We started off a lot of our years 5-0, 6-0, and then you ran into Mayfield, and Fort Campbell was really good when we were playing. And Wayne went in and we thought scored at halftime.
Yeah.
And
he caught the ball in the back of the end zone. Yeah,
back of the end zone, and it was snowing. It's snowing. It's the last game of the year. Matter of fact, I believe it was the last, but it was for the district.
Yeah.
And of course, back then, only the district winner got to go to the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
And they ruled Wayne out of bounds or whatever. I don't exactly remember the call, but no catch or whatever. So that, and there was a couple of years. One year we went. I think we usually played like 10 games.
That's right.
One year we were 7-3. Got beat by Fort Campbell and Mayfield twice. And I believe it was that year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, that was always fun when you'd play Mayfield during the regular season, and then you get to the playoffs and get to see them again, right, Pat?
Oh yeah, we had that opportunity a few times. You know, we turn around and of course go up to Butler County or somewhere like that, and win your first playoff game. Then you turn around and go back to Mayfield here a week later. So actually, in a 2-week period, we got to play them twice. So
that Butler County game still, I think, the coldest football game I've ever been to.
It was, and of course, it was a hard hitting game. You know, they were pretty physical back then, and you know, of course, we always took a lot of pride in trying to be physical as well, and you know, we were fortunate enough to come away with a win on the road, and kind of unfortunate having to turn around and go back to Mayfield, but that was just part of it back then.
Yeah, I remember those games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Chad, after you got done playing at Caldwell County, you got to play college football as well.
Right. I went to Campbellsville and played 4 years. Played on the special teams a lot. Was kind of a backup. Come to find out, you know, you get to college. I was a little small for what they did there, but that was a great experience going to Campbellsville. Got to see a lot of other colleges when we traveled and things like that. So I really enjoyed that.
Did you play under Coach Finley?
Yes.
Ron Finley?
Yeah,
you got any stories about Coach Finley? Coach Finley is a long-time legend.
He's there's many stories I could tell. He would kind of, He was a different. One of his favorite, everything started at an odd time. We didn't start practice at 5. We started practice at 5:01. And practice ended at, 8:32 or something. And in his way, that was a memorization technique. You might forget 5 o'clock, but you wasn't going to forget 5:01.
Right. I remember Gates, him coming up here and playing in the coaches golf scramble several times.
He did, and of course he was just fun to be around. He and all of his players loved him.
Right.
I mean, he was definitely a player's coach, and and I think he was one of the first coaches that really incorporated the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very religious person, and I mean he started every practice with prayer, I think, and ended
every practice with prayer.
Yeah, and he was just a great man, and he's touched a lot of people's lives around here, especially that's gone on and played there at Campbellsville.
He would have struggled a little bit coaching today. He wouldn't be real happy with me right now because we were supposed to be clean. You wouldn't be able to make it, Will. No, mustache was it. No,
old school.
No
he
facial
was
hair.
School.
No earrings.
Tattoos.
No tattoos. He said he couldn't do much. That was what somebody asked him one time. Why do you allow your players to have tattoos? And he said, well, if I could erase them, I would, but you can't. So, but yeah, no facial hair, no earrings. So it was his.
But that was every coach when I was growing up. I mean, all coaches were that way.
Well, similar, yeah. We really didn't have a lot of problem with it. I don't, really remember right off the bat any that had real long hair or, something that was out of the ordinary, but this day and time, you just kind of go around and accept it, and times have changed. Times have changed a lot, and the biggest thing I see now are the tattoos. It seems like on everyone, and especially even on women. It seems like there's more tattoos going around than I've seen in years. So.
One other person I would like to be sure to remember that always, it seems like me and Troy and Don Bragg, we always played the same side of the defensive line. Don was a fullback or a halfback, was what we called him then. I guess y'all probably don't use those terms a lot.
No, not too
yeah,
much.
a lot now. So I remember Don. We were all the same age and graduated together. So.
Well, congratulations, and
thank you.
The one thing I always notice when people start talking about when they played, very rarely does anybody throw out a score or a record.
It's hard to remember the scores.
But it's always this guy and this moment and this coach, and that's good. I mean, it's good that you don't get hooked up on, how many wins and losses. Pat probably does. I bet Pat remembers all of his.
No, well, I mentioned it earlier. These golden years per se is not as golden. You can't, you have a hard time remembering, and but I've got a lot of fond memories of Chad. Of course, I coached him and being offensive line, and of course everybody played on both sides of the ball. Back in the day that he played, and I think that drew a lot of the players closer together. Of course, and of course we huddled up, and I mean we had a close-knit bunch of kids, and, our numbers probably wasn't as great back then as they are, today. I think maybe 35 to 40 if we had that many on the team, and, that included freshmen and all. But Chad was an outstanding player for us, and, as I mentioned, and a good leader both on and off the field, and I've been very blessed to be able to coach people like Chad Lane.
Yeah, and we appreciate you coming in today and taking some time and hang around, and we'll all talk some more. That's Chad Lane. Going to get to Will Barnes now. And, Will, what have you been doing lately?
Not too much. Been teaching and, coaching our team out at the high school, and it's been a really good year so far.
Well, I think your dad would really appreciate this year's team.
Yeah, I think it's some of these kids on this team, he's known since, they were 5 years old. I think he's been, like Tate Van Hoosier and Russ, he's messed with them since they were 4 or 5 years old. And, they I think our team kind of embodies what he liked. We're probably not the most talented team that since Dad's been here, but we play really hard. And, we don't have a lot of guys either, which is a little bit different. But I think our team plays pretty hard, which is something he always enjoyed.
Well, and one guy that seems like he's really come along this season is De'Eric Hollowell.
He has been unbelievable. Not obviously the talent you saw last year, but his attitude as a leader has really been impressive this year. He's kind of taken that leadership role and pushed other guys. He's doing good in the classroom. He's doing everything he needs to do, and you can see that on Friday nights. It's paying off for him, and I couldn't be happier, more proud of him, to be honest with you.
Well, and David used to get on him a little bit about taking care of the football, and I don't know has he dropped one this year?
Let's not, we still got a lot of games to play. Wood, but that's something, even last year when, if he fumbled or dropped the ball or whatever, De'Eric's really hard on himself, and that's something he's worked on and done up to this point, done a really good job with, his ball security.
Well, Tony Franklin was on the sideline for the Union County game and got to see De'Eric, and he's like, he's playing on a different level than the other guys out there, and I think he's really kind of coming into his own as a football player.
Yeah, Tony, once the game kind of, we were up, he pulled me over and said, "Who is that kid?" And, De'Eric had obviously a really good game that night, and he's kind of looked that way really all year.
just he's kind of playing at a different level. And even, I think in the Christian County game, he didn't have a whole lot of yards, but, they've got a really good front, a really good defense, and he was making really tough 3-4 yard runs that are physical runs that really, don't stand out in the stat book, but allowed us to control the ball a little bit and kind of win that game late.
But that's a good example with Tony being there, of being seen, and maybe Tony Franklin can't offer him a scholarship, but he may know somebody who can.
Right. Tony's well plugged and well thought of throughout the country, and if he's going to help anybody out, he would try to help somebody out here in Caldwell County. And I think if he can do something, he'll help him out for sure. I think Derek impressed him, and he really bragged on Russ too. Which it was Tony coming is kind of a unique story. He came by school Thursday, and he said, "Well, I've got to go to Boyle County Friday. We're recruiting a kid there or whatever." And I said, "Well, that's good, And so I walk out for kickoff, and he's standing on the track. I said, "Well, I thought you were going to Boyle County." He said, "Well, I went this morning. I thought I'd come back." So I can't say enough good things about Tony Franklin. Especially, since my dad passed away, what he's meant to my mom and me is just, he's an incredible person.
And a Caldwell County Football Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he always, we always go to the clinic, and he always talks about Caldwell County, and he always said Dad had his dream job that he never could get an interview. Yeah, so, he loves Caldwell County football, and he does a weekly conference call with all of his clients, and the first thing he does is he gives a Caldwell County football update. So he's keeping up with us, and we appreciate his support.
Well, Will, I always tell everybody that you held all the Caldwell County football passing records until some guy named Sindelar came along.
Yeah, well, I always told Sindelar, I said, well, when I played, we handed off that jet sweep. When you played, you flipped it forward. But no, I was an average player that had good coaching and good players around me. When you got somebody as talented as Sindelar with the good coaching and good players around him, he's broke Tim Couch's touchdown record, and, he was a lot better player than me, for sure.
Well, what are some of your favorite memories or thoughts going back, looking at your playing career at Caldwell?
That 2006 year when Cameron and those guys were seniors was probably the most special, of the 3 years that I played. The first game was a little rough. I think we got, you said you were talking about scores. I think I do remember this one. It was Mayfield beat us 35-7, I think, in the first game.
Was that at Marshall County?
It was at Marshall County in that bowl game, and it was kind of a low time there after the first game, but we rattled off 10 in a row, and that was a really special year. And then, after that, we weren't as talented, but still, the next year, we were able to win the district and got beat in the first round. And my senior year, we were just kind of okay, I think. Nothing too special.
One of those years, Trigg County got us in the playoffs, and I think we had a field goal that looked like it was going to be good, and I swear the wind knocked it down. And
that's.
Was that
and
the
then
year
we had
they kicked nearly a 50-yard one with that wind?
I think so.
That was
wasn't
my senior year when Kurt Martin caught that one in the back of the end zone that they called out. And there was the picture in the newspaper the next day of his foot in, and there was just.
And Cameron got hurt.
That was when that was the game I tore my ACL. So.
Yeah, so he was a huge. You playing quarterback's easy when you got. Cameron Williams and Matt Tittle and Eric Vaughn and Rodney Bell. And, that year we had a really good offense. Really, every year I played, we had a really good offensive line. But in 2006, those guys were really good. We were able to run the ball. If you can run the ball and good up front, it's a lot easier to play quarterback, which I found out in college.
Well, and that was the first time we'd gotten to see the offense, the spread offense, and it was sort of different at Caldwell County. I think Pat was more of a kind of a pro set kind of guy,
Pretty much,
it was a little bit of a shock to the system when you come out and you start throwing the ball 30 or 40 times.
Yeah, and in 2006, there still weren't very many people doing that. So that was a big advantage for us, especially in we were able to go really fast, and we weren't necessarily pushing the ball down the field a ton, but we were throwing short, quick game and throwing screens, and that's just we got by because people just weren't used to defending it. So that's another reason why I probably got some of those records is they weren't really ready for all that style of offense at least.
Well, coming up Friday night, it's Mayfield at Tiger Stadium for the Hall of Fame night, and you mentioned Mayfield there. I think every Caldwell County football player ever has a story about Mayfield.
Yeah, listen to Chad and Coach Gates talk about playing them in the regular season and then turning around and playing them in the playoffs. That's a tough deal, and that's kind of what, hopefully we get a chance, we play them twice, if we can win a couple games in the playoffs and play them again. But Mayfield's Mayfield. They're going to be a really good football team year in and year out. They're coached really well. Coach Morris does a great job. Coach Hatchell that does their offense does a great job. Coach Dew, that's their defensive coordinator. They're as good as it gets around the state. Their record speaks for itself. It's just Coach Sounds kind of said it pretty good yesterday. It's not necessarily about Mayfield. It's about us and doing what we've got to do. And if we play our game and do what we're supposed to and they just beat us, that's fine. But getting caught up, I think sometimes we get caught up in, it's Mayfield and we got to play this perfect game. They're human too. They're going to make mistakes. We've just got to, do what we're coached to do and play hard, and the chips will fall where they may be, and we'll go from there.
Well, and your dad, David Barnes, kind of emulated the Mayfield program a little bit, trying to build the Caldwell program up.
Yeah, him and Joe were, that Steve Lovelace at Christian County and Joe were in Western Kentucky for sure. Two of his best friends. They talk constantly, and Mayfield, like I said, Mayfield's record speaks for itself. We're very similar offensively. Defensively, we're pretty similar. They play a little bit more man coverage than we do, but there's certain aspects I think that you can see that are similar for sure.
Anything else about your playing time at Caldwell County, or anybody? Tell us a little bit about college, because you're another guy that got to go play college football.
I'll keep that short. No, I had a great time in college. Not a lot of success, but met a lot of really good people and played quarterback. Got to play, start a couple of years, and I was a backup for the rest of the time. Played against Cameron. They always beat us. We never could beat them, but. Got to play with a couple of NFL guys. DeMarcus Ganaway, that was in camp with the New York Jets for a while, got hurt. Now he's coaching at Ohio County. And then Keelan Cole, his first year playing at Wesleyan was my last year, and now he's with the Jaguars. So there were some good experiences. Not a lot of on-field success, but a lot of friends that I've made, that I still talk to today.
Well, again, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. And,
and thanks for Coach Gates and Brian and Johnny and everybody involved with getting this stuff together. It's a really good thing to recognize the history of Caldwell County football.
So we've talked this morning with Chad Lane, and we've talked with Will Barnes. Now Cameron Williams is with us. And Cameron, is it Missouri S&T or is it Missouri Rolla?
It changed while I was there. The first 2 years I was there is University of Missouri Rolla, and then it changed to Missouri Science and Technology. So still under the University of Missouri umbrella, but they wanted to kind of have their own standalone name. But that's where I ended up playing college ball for my time after high school. Played defensive back there is what I ended up doing. I redshirted my freshman year. As we mentioned earlier, I tore my ACL my senior year of high school, and then I actually tore it again freshman year of college there. Just didn't heal correctly and stuff, but after that didn't have much issues. But Played all 4 years after my redshirt year, defensive back. Lettered 3 of them, and my senior year was one of the captains on the team. So, and we had growing success. I believe it was my junior year we won our conference and stuff, so that was a big highlight of college. But went through some coaching changes there as well as in high school. So my 4 years of high school, I went through 3 head coaches. And I thought it was funny when Chad mentioned running the hill. Last night was thinking, kind of reminiscing and stuff, and popped in my head on the biggest changes I remember between Coach Barnes and Coach Gates and stuff. And I was going to say it was when you drove up to the high school and how green the grass looked around that hill there once Coach Barnes started coaching, just because we didn't run that hill anymore.
So in high school, you probably played just about every position there was, it seems like.
At some point in time, I felt like I did, yes.
But certainly excelled at receiver. I don't remember. What did you drop? 1 pass the whole time?
Not many, I'll tell you that.
What are some of your favorite memories from your playing days as a Tiger?
It goes back to the same one that Will was mentioning. I think my senior year. So we had a group of 13 seniors my senior year, and we were a tight-knit group. I think all of them, we played all 4 years together, and like I said, going through those coaches changes, 3 of them in the 4 years and stuff, I think it really brought us close together, and going into that very different offense our senior year, and not really knowing what that was like and how that would work. And we were year before that did decent. I think we were 4-7 or something like that. And had high hopes our senior year and coming into that. And then, our first game against Mayfield didn't look too hot. And I think, we were struggling and trying to pick that up and stuff. And then our second game was against Crittenden County. And that was, I think, kind of during the height of the rivalry between us and Crittenden County. And first half, we started to get better and started to click and stuff. And then by the second half, we were rolling. And I think we beat them pretty soundly. And then from then on, the rest of the season, there was no looking back. And
I think in that Crittenden County game, Cameron scored about every way possible. Punt, kick,
is that
rushing.
The 6 touchdown game?
Yeah, that was a 6 touchdown game, yeah.
3 receiving, 2 rushing, and 1 punt return.
Yeah. So that was a good time for a big game. I know that.
Yeah, and I really think it pulled us together. It got us behind that new offense and stuff, and made us really, trust in it and believe in it and go forward. And like I said, from then on, we had some tough games. We won. I think we beat Trigg County and Fort Campbell both by 1 touchdown, 10 points, something like that. There were some nail biters in there, but finished the 110 straight after that, and then lost in the second round of the playoffs by I think 3 points. So.
Now, were you in the Monroe County game? Did you play in that game the year Gates? Wasn't that the year you went up there?
I believe that was in 2005. I believe that was when we went up there and won at the very end of the game. Or
they scored a touchdown late and then went for 2, and
we stopped them.
Yeah. Like 21-20.
I believe that's right. Yeah. And then the next week we had to go to Fort Campbell, and that's when they had Micah Johnson and all that group. And of course, I believe earlier in the season we played them pretty close up here. And that was the game that Micah got kicked out of.
Yeah, him and Rodney Bell.
Rodney Bell undercut him. Yeah. And then I guess against Fort Campbell, Rodney the second time he didn't get to play.
Yeah.
He'd gotten, I don't know what happened, but he was on the sideline that game. But that was.
I remember
pretty memorable.
Yeah, they were a stacked team that year.
They were good. They did. I believe they went on and won the state championship.
No, they lost. They were the one that they
Catholic beat them.
Yeah, they got their picture taken in front of the stadium before, and then they got upset by Catholic in like the third round.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were pretty solid. And we played them pretty tough. Definitely, I think the first 3 quarters, and then after that they kind of beat us up and stuff. And I remember it was the year after that. So Micah Johnson went and played at UK, and
they had 3 or 4, I believe, that went to Division I. Went to Notre Dame, I believe, one of their defensive
I think so. I think you're right.
And, they had some really good players.
Yeah, I went up to my senior year to UK for a visit with Joker Phillips and stuff, and I met Micah Johnson there and stuff after the game. I think they played Georgia that day or something and actually beat them. And we were talking to Micah, and then his mom walked up, and his mom's about the size he is.
Yeah.
And she talked, I forgot how she brought it up, but she talked about when he got kicked out of that game, and I guess she went onto the sideline and lit into him in front of his entire team because he acted up that during the game.
Hey, Rodney did the right thing, though. He wasn't going to hit him up high.
Rodney probably didn't tell him about it either, did he?
Well, I wasn't going to bring up the Fort Campbell game. I remember the trip to Monroe County, and that game always kind of stood out to me as one that, we really played well on the road, and it seemed like a lot of things were kind of going against us, and somehow you guys were able to pull out the win.
Yeah.
We were pretty evenly matched, I think, and I believe we ran a hook and ladder or something to go up on them early in the game and kind of set the tempo, and we just had enough to hold on to stop that 2-point conversion there at the end, and but it was a memorable win, and anytime you go on the road into play, it was one of those 2-3 matchups. We were the third seed, and they was the second seed out of their district, and we're going to miss those matchups. I think
that was the last year we did that, because then my senior year, you played your first round was in your district again.
Right.
That was the last year where your first round of playoffs, you played somebody from the other district.
And now they're going back to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I liked it the other way a lot better.
Yeah.
I'd rather play somebody I hadn't seen. Yeah, none of the coaches do.
Yeah, none of the coaches do. You're right.
Well, Cameron, any players stick out in your mind? I've always wanted to ask, when you guys play the other teams, are there any players that you guys are like, man, that guy was really good?
It was more of memorable players that I remember. It was that
Micah Johnson
and that Fort Campbell team my junior year, and how stacked they were. 'Cause like Chad said, that was back when Fort Campbell was always really solid.
Always seemed like Fort Campbell. We thought when we were playing them, we thought, man, they can't have. It was like they had those big Samoan guys, and they'd keep bringing them in. It was just like they just kept getting bigger and bigger, and we thought, next year they won't have them. Next year, and every year they seem to bring in a couple more.
Their JV team was always rough.
Exactly.
Somehow by their senior year, they were stacked.
Yeah, they never. Their JV and freshman teams and stuff never did much, but I guess we used to kind of joke because whatever the. I guess the colonel would be in charge of the base or whatever, if he was a sports fan or not, depending on.
Their roster would change from week to week.
Exactly, yeah.
He'd get in who he needed,
Well, Cameron, congratulations on the Hall of Fame, and anything else you'd like to add?
I was just going to say my most memorable part would probably be back to the group of seniors that I graduated with. Like I said, my third grade year was the first year that they started the Junior Pro League in town, and so a lot of us that graduated had played together for 9-10 years. And like Will said, we had some, we had Bradley Wolford and Tyler Williams on the offensive line, and
Andrew Webster
and
Matt
Andrew Webster and Matt Wilson on defense. We had some size and stuff that really set us apart. And then with Demetri Riley and Cody Traylor and Rodney and stuff, we had some speed. We had a majority of it, everything you needed to really put a special team together. But I think just that bond that we had going through, I think some turmoil through our 4 years with coaching changes and things like that, and picking up new schemes and things, just really brought us together. And it's one of those, even now since I've moved back to town, when you see somebody, one of those guys, and walking down the street or in Walmart or whatever, you pick up a conversation like it was yesterday. So that's probably the most special part about what football going through here was for me. So,
well, again, congratulations. Hall of Fame coming up Friday night. In the studio today, we got Pat Gates, Chad Lane is here, Will Barnes is here, Cameron Williams is here, Ty Englebright's here without a microphone, though. You have to yell or something back there. Say hello.
I'm just enjoying it. I'm just enjoying all the stories. That's why I love sticking around for those. It's great.
We need to get to a break here on the Sideline Report, but we'll continue with more right after this timeout on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Plenty of sunshine today with a high near 90. Tonight, clear, low 55. Now tomorrow for Football Friday, here's the temperatures we've been looking for. Sunny, high 75, and then on Saturday, sunny, high near 86. 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms is going to pop up on Sunday with a high of 75, and then sunshine and milder temps returning Monday, high near 71. Again, for your volleyball Thursday, sunshine and a high near 90.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique.
The holidays, time to enjoy with those you love. If you're thinking about new flooring in your home before the holidays, now's the time to stop in at Perry's Floors and More and let them help you find the perfect flooring that will not only add warmth and style to any room in your home, but also flooring that will stand up to the wear and spills of everyday life. Whichever floor you choose will be backed by reputable manufacturers and installed with expert care. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors and More, 127 West Market, Princeton. Call 270-365-9869.
It's not too late to lease a residential, commercial, or agricultural propane tank, so you'll be prepared for this winter. Give Fortner Gas in Princeton a call today to get on their schedule now while prices are still low. If you are an existing Fortner Gas customer and refer a friend for a new tank installation, you'll receive 50 gallons of propane for free. Fortner LP Gas Company in Princeton, a locally owned family business since 1951.
Welcome back to the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Want to tell you about Dave's Deal of the Week at U-Ride in Princeton. It's a red 2011 Ford Fusion. See Dave for details at U-Ride in Princeton. That's U-Ride, 310 Marion Road, Princeton. Telephone 270-365-3215. Be sure and ask about Dave's Deal of the Week. Volleyball coming up tonight right here on WPKY, a second region championship preview maybe at the Cab Gym. The Lady Tigers hosting Henderson County, and Sue Stone will be calling that game for us right here on 1580, 103.3 and WPKYonline.com tonight, beginning around 7 o'clock as the Lady Tigers host Henderson County out at the Cab Gym. We'll continue with more on the Sideline Report after this on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Plenty of sunshine today with a high near 90. Tonight, clear, low 55. Now tomorrow for Football Friday, here's the temperatures we've been looking for. Sunny, high 75, and then on Saturday, sunny, high near 86. 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms is going to pop up on Sunday with a high of 75, and then sunshine and milder temps returning Monday, high near 71. Again, for your volleyball Thursday, sunshine and a high near 90.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Penny Ryle District Health.
Get spruced up with quality mulch from Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road in Princeton. We all know that buying mulch by the truckload saves money, and it's only $25 per load for dark natural mulch at Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road, 1/2 mile past City County Park. Bashir Sawmill also buys standing timber and timberland. Give them a call today, 270-365-2330. That's Bashir Sawmill, family owned and operated in Princeton for over 50 years.
It's all at your fingertips now at WPKYonline.com. Local video, local news, local sports, local weather information, and of course, contests. Plus, you can listen to us on your smart device. Just click the Listen Now button. We've made it easier to find your favorite information. WPKYonline.com.
Back on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and WPKYonline.com. Again, a busy show today. Pat Gates in the studio with us. Also, Hall of Famers Chad Lane, Will Barnes, and Cameron Williams. Also going into the Hall of Fame Friday night will be Mark Knight, Bob Hudson, and Gary Goodacre. And Pat, really strong class this year.
It really is. And, you know, as we mentioned earlier, we got a little bit behind there for a while, and we're trying to get caught back up. And we still got a lot of deserving people out there that will be members. And, we're just so proud of this group that's going in now. And, I think we mentioned at our last meeting, we've basically got the next 2 or 3 classes that, we wish we could put them all in at one time, but, you kind of just got to take so many at a time to make it feel special to them, and they are all 6 of them are very special people, and meant a whole lot to Caldwell County football and Caldwell County High School. And the main thing is they went on and got them an education, and they're doing well for themselves, and that means a lot more. Football is temporary for most of us, and and we just so proud that they're coming back to the community. Chad's been a teacher here and administrator for years, and I know he's getting close. You're talking about making somebody feel old, Here he is getting close to retirement. Of course, I've been retired. This is going on my 13th year being retired from the school system. And, of course, Will was coming in right at the end of my tenure out there, and we had a very special bond together every day, it seemed like, in the cafeteria. He helped me in a lot of ways, and he used to pick on my pro football games.
Well, I wouldn't bring it up until you did. So.
Yeah, but we've always had a special bond together, and as well as Cameron and Chad and Bob Hudson, and a lot of times linemen don't get the notoriety that that they deserve, and that was one area. Of course, I was a lineman and growing up, and I know Will and Cameron both to tell you, if it wasn't for the people in front of them, they wouldn't have had the success that they had. And I know playing for quarterbacks and running backs, and whenever they got in the huddle and say good block, thanks for helping me out, that means a lot to you as a player. And we just want to give those guys as many accolades as we can. And of course, a couple of the players aren't here today. Bob Hudson, he was an outstanding lineman for us and went on and played some college ball, and he'll be here tomorrow. He's coming in from Utah, and it's meant a lot to him to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. And we got Mark Knight coming in. I think he lives up in Louisville now. He did text me yesterday. He was in Cincinnati on his way back to Louisville, but he'll be here tomorrow. Outstanding player for us. I think he came here as his sophomore year. Is that right, Ty?
I think so.
Around sophomore or junior, he was a quarterback in what we called strong safety when I played, and he would Mark would his favorite thing was the hitting. And that,
he liked to hit.
He didn't want to go into quarterback. He was his senior year. He was, which I guess I think would have been my sophomore year. He was our quarterback, and just an awesome athlete. But he would get mad when y'all would take him out on the defense because he needed he just wanted to hit somebody.
He did, and he wasn't very big either. He was wiry, but very aggressive.
Yeah,
he did. And of course, he went on and played at Center College, and got a great education, and all these guys have. That's what makes you more proud, being able to coach guys that go on and get their education and are successful in life.
Well, one of the challenges when trying to put together each Hall of Fame class is determining the linemen, and there aren't a lot of stats. And is there a more underappreciated position in sports than offensive lineman?
No, because if you're playing defensive line, at least you could say I had so many tackles or sacks. But no, offensive lineman, you want to be around some good people, offensive lineman.
And the rules have changed since we did a lot of cutting back in the day, even outside the tackle box.
Cut blocks were especially.
And we tried to incorporate ways we could hold and get away with it, but. Now, it seems like all the advantages are toward the defense.
Larry Curlin, Coach Curlin, our hero, always said, keep your hands in and they won't see it. He said, you got to keep your hands in.
Keep your hands in. If you got being overpowered, grab them by it and take them to the ground, So, a little of that goes on now. But, this day and time, you don't see linemen in 3- and 4-point stances back, in the day that Chad played and Bob and some of those, and that's how the game's changed. I've been asked that numerous times. Number one, the speed of the game has changed more than anything, and everything's so much faster now, and kids are doing so much more offensively and defensively, and it's amazing to see and how they've picked up on it.
Well, and one of the big things, and you mentioned it earlier, is that everybody played both ways for you guys. I mean, that's just the way it was, but with Coach David Barnes, he didn't want a lot of guys trying to go both ways.
Yeah, especially up front. so we can keep the offense and defensive linemen fresh, because that's where your games are going to be won, is up front. This year we've got more guys going both ways than we've ever had, just because of numbers. But with the amount of plays, we're running 60, 65 plays. A lot of the other teams we play are running 60, 65 plays. That's a lot of plays, and so it'd be hard to go both ways, especially up front now.
Well, and you guys put the offensive linemen through a workout anyway, especially when Sindelar was here, because every pass was 60 yards down the field. So those offensive linemen are having to sprint down there because you guys want them lined up quickly.
Yeah, and they get out in screens and do they probably move a little bit more sideline to sideline than previous years. So they got to be a little bit better, be able to run more than physical strength, I would say.
Yeah, I remember my senior year when we started doing a lot of the screens, and your linemen are getting out and blocking defensive backs and stuff. And like I said, we had Tyler Williams and Bradley Wolford, who were both over 6 foot and probably pushing 300 pounds, and you saw them bailing towards this defensive back. It was sometimes fun to watch, but yeah, they were definitely getting out of the outside and running people down a lot more in that style offense. But it was definitely a different thing, but it made them stand out.
Well, we've talked about Mayfield a lot today. You've got them coming in Friday night. Will, what's the game plan going in against them?
We've got to
score more points than
That's
them.
right.
There you go.
They do.
There you go.
The thing that makes Mayfield good is they limit their mistakes. They don't give up a ton of big plays. They don't make it. They don't turn the ball over a ton. Don't have a lot of penalties. So you got to limit your mistakes, and we just got to play our game. And I think if we play our game, we'll be okay. We'll be in the game in the second half and see where we go from there.
I saw this somewhere yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to double check it yet, but the fact I saw said Mayfield hasn't lost a district football game in 10 years. Caldwell County hasn't lost one, I think, in 7. So something's got to give. Something's got to give Friday night, but that's a pretty big matchup right there when you talk about teams that have that kind of string going.
Yeah, I think Crittenden County was probably the last district team to beat Mayfield.
Wow.
I think that was probably 10 years ago, would have been about my senior year, I guess. And that's when they had J.D. Gray and had a really good team at Crittenden. I think Crittenden beat them twice that year. So that probably was the last time they lost a district game.
If you look over the last 10 or 15 years, though, Caldwell County has probably had as much success against Mayfield as anybody has.
Yeah, which isn't saying too.
But
we beat them a handful of times. I know McCracken County's beat them a few times, but especially Western Kentucky, I don't know the records, but we've had a few games and a lot of games that have been pretty close too.
I think you mentioned earlier, though, that one of the keys is you're not playing Mayfield, you're just playing the guys on the other side of the line.
Yeah, we can't get caught up in playing Mayfield and trying to play the perfect game, because that's not going to happen. Coach McClung talked to our guys on Monday. Do you guys think you can beat Mayfield for one play? And of course, we can beat them for one play. And you just got to keep repeating that over and over again and not get caught up in, hey, we've got to play perfect every play. They're going to have their plays. We're going to have our plays, hopefully, and just trying to take it one play at a time and again, not getting caught up in, we're playing Mayfield.
Again, the Tigers and the Cardinals Friday night at Tiger Stadium. It's Hall of Fame night. Will Barnes, Cameron Williams, Mark Knipe, Chad Lane, Bob Hudson, Gary Goodacre, all going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. That'll be ceremonies at halftime, and that's always a big deal. And when you look up in the crowd, that's one of the big things, Pat, that always sticks out to me. When that ceremony is going on, you turn around and look up in the crowd, everybody's sitting there watching. I mean, nobody leaves for the Hall of Fame ceremony. Even the opposing team sits there and watches that.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, it's very special. Football special here in Caldwell County, and these are very deserving members that are being inducted in, and I think all the people in the community love seeing them come back. And now, you know, there may be some that's been coming for years that say, yeah, Chad Lane, I remember when it just seems like yesterday that he was playing. And now they're all grown up now, and they all got families, and it's just very special. And once again, we want to encourage everyone before the game, get there early enough tomorrow night to come over to the tent and congratulate these young men and their families, and be able to visit with them and welcome them into the 2019 Hall of Fame class of Caldwell County Football Friends and Alumni.
And we appreciate everybody coming in today and being on the show. Wish we had a little more time to talk, but Pat, you had to come back in sometime. Bring DT with you.
Well, I wanted DT, but this is a busy time for those guys, sealing and all. And I texted him this morning, so I'm assuming that's probably where he's at. He's out sealing, so we'd like to come back in and visit with you. You do a great show here at
Thank you.
WPKY, and you and Ty and all the people around here. And, of course, we're so tickled to keep this radio station here, and we do a lot of things that a lot of radio stations aren't able to do, and we really appreciate it here in this community, and it keeps us going.
That's Pat Gates, Chad Lane in with us, Will Barnes, Cameron Williams. Thanks, guys, for coming in. I really appreciate it, and
thank you for having
congratulations
us.
again.
Thanks, very much. Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
And Ty, thanks for standing in the background today. And I was going to rag you on your Braves, the Cardinals and the Braves starting this afternoon. So you know, we'll have time. We'll go at it.
We'll go at it.
That's Ty Englebright. This is Todd Griffin. Thanks for joining us this morning on the Sideline Report. Don't forget Hall of Fame night Friday at Tiger Stadium as the Tigers host the Mayfield Cardinals. That's going to wrap it up on the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News. I'm Chris